What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mongols. This is our reaction show where we're going to break down everything that we saw as the Hounds traveled to Birmingham and came back with 1 point in a 1-1 draw. We're going to talk all about the game. But first, I am Mike Sparks. Joining me is Steve Mattias and Josh Brokaw. Gentlemen, welcome. Steve, it's like school season, man. How are you handling this?
I mean, orientation all day, Thursday. Great group of students, but it's a big room with 50-something people in it, and I don't know most of them, and so introvert Steve is just exhausted at the end of it, right? It went well, but just kind of, taking it easy this weekend, laying low, recovering before teaching tomorrow for the first time this year. So, yeah, it's here.
I love that you just said introvert Steve. I won't tell you how many listeners we have on every show. We'll just let that hang out there. And
no, I don't have to interact. They're not here. They're not in my office surrounding me. And there's no sense of I have to have some sort of presentation for them. I'm here talking to you guys. People might chime in and I'll respond to them, but there's no pressure.
Fair enough. Josh, how's it going, man? Everton opening the stadium. Big deal.
That was fun. I went to Bulldog Morningside to watch the game with a bunch of Pittsburgh Evertonians, and it was a great time. Grealish, he's good. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jack's good at soccer. Yeah. So it turns out getting the same number of assists in one game as he did with Man City the whole time is pretty funny in my book. So.
That was always my fear with Jack. So Jack started at Aston Villa, went to City, and he's the kind of player that plays with a lot of creativity and flair. And I knew it just wouldn't fly in Pep's system. You just become another cog. And that's exactly what he won all the trophies. He did all the things, but Pep totally squashed that out of him. So I'm really happy that he's with a team that allows him to have some of that flair again, because he's a really good player. So
it's funny. I was scrolling TikTok and there was just some Man City fan just raging against Man City, front office and staff and all that stuff, being like, look what he did in one game, more than he did for us in 4 years. It's not his fault, it's your fault. He was just so upset at Man City. I'm like, yeah. Although he did say he's so good he makes Everton look good. Whoa,
okay, all right, too far.
Fair, but hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Everton is in the top half of the table. It's great.
Listen, Josh predicted them to be in the top 10. So
they are right now. So
end of the season, still going to be there. Mark my words.
Good. Yeah, I'm realizing on camera I got a little bit burnt today. We'll say friend of the show. He's never been on the show, but he loves the show. There's a guy out here. His name's Adam. He is trying to start a program to essentially help create a middle school soccer team, which we don't have here in Ligonier. And he's doing it by having pickup games on Sundays for literally kids ages 4 to 13. So went out with my two guys. My middle son helped coach. The youngest one participated. There was 22 kids there, and we just ran around in the sun for a few hours, and it was a friggin' blast. To see 4-year-olds doing lunges across the field is equal parts adorable and funny, and it's just it's great. So especially having you guys took my oldest to college this weekend, so to go from that down to a 4-year-old playing soccer, it was a nice little throwback. So So definitely happy for that. I just realized too, Josh, do you remember this shirt?
I do remember that shirt. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I don't fit in mine, so I do not have that.
Well, you can see mine is covered in paint. And so this was, I thought I lost it. I couldn't find it for years, but was it the Tree of Life shooting that they had a fundraiser at Highmark Stadium where teams could show up and play. And we had a blue Mongol shirt that we wore. We ended up playing against the Steel Army. Man, that was a game. That was fun. They need to do that again. But yeah. Okay. Enough about what we going on. Jeez. Okay.
The sun's really getting to you, huh, Mike?
Yes, it is. Let's get into this game, gentlemen. So the Hounds travel to Birmingham. We get a 1-1 draw. I think lots of feels, lots of stuff going on. Josh, give me a takeaway from this one. How are you feeling after this one?
Not great. And I feel like get this out of the way first. Dick did not have a good game. He had an error, and after that, he looked shaken the whole game. And I, trying to think of as a great prophet once said, "Shake it off, shake it off."
Oh, there we go. I thought you were going to bring up the goldfish one, but okay, we'll go with shake it off.
And he really needs to, because like you could tell he was just rattled after that, and it just felt nervy every single time he got the ball near him. It's like, ugh, this is not great.
I mean, I feel like Steve, this is like a few games in a row where it feels like not that he's made significant errors, but we've talked about how there's just seems to be something off. Is this a chance where maybe you give Randolph a game just to let Dick kind of reset?
I mean, I think that you don't pull that trigger just yet. I think you give him one more game. If he goes 3 games in a row where he's had really shaky moments, I mean, we've seen it in the past 8 years many times where a goalkeeper that we thought was the starter gets dropped and somebody else wins the job. And so I could see that happening. I think that though you got to give him the chance to come back, not just right. Like, I mean, it was a egregious mistake. You could tell he got like his mind just was not there on that. And I think Josh is right. It really affected him the rest of the game. And so give him the chance to redeem himself. And if he still has a shaky game this weekend against a not very good team, then that's when you say, okay, we're going to give somebody else a shot. So, yeah, I mean, I think you got to trust that he's got the talent, because we've seen that before.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with anything you just said. I was just curious what your thoughts are. Steve, give me another takeaway from this one.
Well, I mean, you asked how we were feeling, and I just am not feeling much about this game because it was just so overall boring for 90 minutes. Defensively, perfectly fine by the Hounds overall. Offensively, completely uninspiring. And Birmingham was not very good either. And so it's not like we snagged a point against a team that outplayed us, right? I don't think either team was playing very well. And it was just a lot of the Hounds passing the ball in their defensive half. Birmingham looking for some counterattacks and getting shut down, and not fun soccer.
Yeah. The amount of possession that we had, I think it ended up being close to 60%. At one point early in the game, it was like 70%. But to your point, it seemed like, I don't know if it was the game plan, I don't know what it was, but every time Beto got the ball, regardless of how much yardage was in front of him, his immediate reaction was to turn and pass it to Suber further back. And I don't know if, so this was something, this is going to get a little bit tactical. My concern is that the Hounds don't seem to have the personnel to be able to break a team down whenever they put 11 men behind the ball. So what happens is if we push all of our players forward and you have your defenders that are passing the ball around the back, that means that most likely the team you're playing against has all of their guys back in their half to defend. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Then what you need to do is, if you can't break that team down, which we struggle to do, you need to create space for your guys up top. And so I wonder if they weren't just trying to pass the ball around to try to draw Birmingham out a little bit. And I messaged you guys too. There was a moment in the first half where both Griffin and Sample both dropped back towards the defense at the same time. And you could see that the guys that were marking them were coming with them. And then I think it was Suber played a ball over the top to Augie, who had a little bit more space. And I went, oh, good. Like, this seems to be like a tactic to create more space for Augie. It seemed very well coordinated. I'm like, are we seeing something new? This would be great. But it happened once and then it didn't really happen again. So I don't know how much of that is actually, a change in what we're trying to do versus just maybe Danny and Bradley seeing an opportunity to create some of that space. So to your point, if I'm jumping ahead just a second, but if you look at all of the games that we've played thus far, we've played 21 league games. We've given up 18 goals. We've scored 19 goals. So we've given up less than a goal a game, but we've also scored less than a goal a game. So in a situation like this, Birmingham knows Birmingham's the second worst team in the East. All they got to do is sit back, take their chance when they get it, which they did multiple times. They outshot us 15-7, and then just sit back and know that we can't break them down.
Yeah.
So
that breakdown issue, I think, is spot on, Mike. I mean, when I was thinking about this game this afternoon, looking through some stuff, it's like if you look at the heat map of individual players and the team as a whole, I mean, everything is right around that center field line for the majority of the midfielders and for the team as a whole. I mean, that's not a good look when you're in the position that you are, that you're trying to put yourself in a home playoff position. You've got to be more adventurous. And I think what that speaks to is, you're right, 7 shots. I mean, way below what we need to be taking. And my question for Lily at this stage is, why do you insist on pushing the guys to only take high probability shots? Let the guys play, let them take the shots, because you know what? Deflections happen. Something gets bumbled, right? I mean, we saw that last week with the goal, right? I mean, it was a great goal because it was a follow-up on a saved shot. And so
I mean,
that's what we need to see.
That was Birmingham's goal. The guy just took a rip from 25 yards out, and it just got bumbled. And so, we need to be doing that.
So, okay, lineup-wise. When I saw the lineup get announced, I was like, are we, like, scared of Birmingham? Like, it felt like having one forward. And looking at the way they break it down on the USL site cracks me up, because they're calling Barnes and Biasi midfielders. And then they're calling All and Mertz forwards. No, that's not what it looked like at all to me. And it just, when we came up with that lineup and I saw that it was, one forward, basically, I felt worried because I'm like, why are we playing defensively against Birmingham, second the worst team in the league? Like, I would expect us to come out with more of a lineup towards, attacking. And I, like you, Mike, I thought maybe he's trying something. Like, maybe we're going to see, a different type. It was kind of exciting to think of All and Mertz on the field at the same time. I thought maybe that'd be kind of cool, more dynamic with Griffin on there as well. Like, okay, cool. But yeah, it didn't work. It didn't seem like it was basically just, we have enough midfielders to play the ball in the middle and in our defensive half to triangle pass it a lot. And that's about it.
I mean, to that point, we often criticize Lilly for sort of late substitutions or questionable substitutions. He did not hesitate at halftime to basically swap out. He pulled out Mertz and Biasi, and he put on Boone and Etu. Now, I would argue that Etu for Biasi is kind of a like for like. You kind of want them to do similar things. In the past, Etu has had more speed to get into the box and be a bit more dangerous. Like, he'll drive into the box in the way that Biasi will stay further out wide. But Boone for Mertz feels much more like a forward for a midfield substitution. And I mean, to Boone's credit, he made some stuff happen. I mean, he got the assist on Augie's goal, and was relatively dangerous for somebody who was playing in their second game for the team.
Yeah. So,
I guess credit for making those subs there. But it just still wasn't enough. And it does give me real pause. I think last week we asked, we're on this 3-game road stretch. We're playing at Birmingham. We're going to play at Tampa, and then we're going to go play at Oakland before we come home I think we have 9 games left for the season. And then we just bounce back and forth, home away, home away, home away for the rest of the season. Josh, I think you were saying that you were thinking the magic number was like 7. Did we say 7?
Yeah. I said 6 is good. Like, I would be okay with 6, but I feel like 7 would make me happy. Yeah. And this was one of the ones that I expected 3 points from. Like, this and next week, I feel like are the ones where it's like, next week is
Tampa.
Oh yeah, Tampa. Yeah. So this and next week are the ones where I expected 6 points to come from. And then if you get a point going all the way to the West Coast, cool. If not, it's not the end of the world. But
yeah. I mean, before we start jumping too far ahead, guys, any other thoughts on this one? Anything else to say as a result of what you saw here? I don't know.
I do want to agree with the subs. I did, seeing Junior come in, I do think is a good substitution because it's not quite like for like, because in my mind, he is much better at giving service, like actually like getting dangerous balls into the box. Junior seems to be very adept at that. So I was excited to see that one. And then, like you said, with Boone, having another forward on, which is what I expected from the beginning, is to see two forwards on the field at the same time, was definitely beneficial. And we saw the, result of that. So,
yeah.
Well, and you're exactly right about that with both players, I think, especially for Junior, right? Like we see him playing as a wing back, but his entire career prior to coming to the Hounds, he was an outside midfielder to an attacking midfielder. And so you see him doing the things that those types of players do that Biasi as a defender isn't as adept at. Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about Boone for Mertz for me is that you look at where Boone actually was, and it's not like he was doing anything more offensively, either in terms of his positioning or his passing, I think, than what Mertz had been doing. And so in some ways, it feels like Junior was not a like-for-like substitution, but at the end of the day, Boone was, which is weird.
Yeah. But we also had, before the goal happened, we had Burton come in as well, right? So like we had three forwards on the field when the goal happened finally. I don't know how much he played into, like, thinking back at it, I don't know how much he really played into it. But obviously that makes it more threats, more people you have to worry about in the box. So it kind of makes sense. And yeah, at that point it was like, okay, see, we don't have to be afraid of Birmingham. We should be really laying into them here.
Is there a world in which you guys think that maybe we overlooked Birmingham? Like when you look at the way that we set up, Josh, to your point, it was one forward. By the end of the game, we basically had three to try to catch up. Didn't start Jackson Walty, who's played pretty much every game. Did we think, well, maybe we'll give him a breather? I don't know if there was some injury. I'd like, if there was, correct me, but he came back in late in the game and played. So like, was this a case where we said, well, we could try something different? We could do a box midfield. We've been talking about how do you get both Mertz and All on at the same time? Well, you play them as attacking midfielders. You give Sample some time. And then we got bit and we had to try to chase the game. Do you think that that's an accurate read, or am I just kind of looking at the puzzle after it's been built and trying to work it backwards?
I don't think it's a bad way to read it. I read this a little differently in terms of like reading it in context of history and this season. And so not to like get too much into it, but we've talked about before, like it seems like this, the entire emphasis right now is to not lose. And that's what this felt like with me, is it's like, it's embarrassing to lose to Birmingham because they have only beat us once, right? We've got the edge on them in every game. And so to me, this just seemed like a timid tactical approach of let's do everything we can to not lose this game, rather than we're better than this team. We always have been better than this team. So let's go out and get the win. Right. And to me, that is negative soccer. And that's what I felt watching the game.
Yeah. I wouldn't say we overlooked them with this lineup. If anything, I thought this lineup actually respected them too much because of the fact that it wasn't attacking centered. It was very much, to Steve's point, playing defensively. Like I felt very much that this was a game where it almost felt like maybe Bob was thinking, hey, a point would be nice, and get a point away, win at home. Okay, fine. Except for the fact that you just got a whole bunch of points at home recently. So these ones need to be wins.
And as they said multiple times on the feed, there was no Tyler Pasher.
Drink. I don't have a drink. Oh, man.
Mine's NA, so get all you want, Mike.
Mine's just water. Sorry. Yeah. I counted 4 Pasher calls by halftime, and the guy wasn't even in the team.
Right? Like, he wasn't even there. How's that possible? he hasn't been relevant in forever.
But I do want to say maybe that is part of it, that Birmingham did have a few players that we probably would have expected to see in the starting lineup that were not. And does that play into it? Even so, if you've got Tyler Pasher and Enzo on the field, like we should still be able to beat that team because we beat that team with those players on the field multiple times.
Yeah, agreed. Guys, we don't have a Mondo moment video because Mondo was out of town, but he did send me a Mondo moment to read on his behalf. So I don't have the now it's time for your Mondo moment. So there you go. So I'm just going to read it. It says, "Hi, yeah, on vacation. Bounties or something need to be completed. The Mondo moment for the match against Birmingham Legion was in the second half when after 4 total subs came into the match, Augie Williams snags himself a goal to salvage a draw against a feisty Birmingham side. Credit to Eric Dick for keeping the game at 1-0 to that point. Lily ball at its finest. Who can complain?" And he told me to read that last line dry and sarcastic. So I'll try that. Yeah. So there you go. So there's your Mondo moment. Augie's goal.
Yeah.
It's a good goal.
It was a really good goal.
Really good goal.
Yeah.
Great to see him get a goal, run a play. And, that felt fantastic. And it obviously would have felt better if it wasn't for the goal that happened in the first half.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. What's so frustrating to me about it is that's what I've expected to see from him all season, right? So we know he can do it, and now we've got some evidence of it. And it happened because you're right. We had multiple attackers pulling players away, and he got the space and he finished. And so again, just give him the chance to do what he does. Because when he does what he does, is it the most beautiful goal I've ever seen? No. Is it a good goal? Yeah. And he can score good goals like that when given the chance regularly. That's why he's where he is in terms of all-time goal scoring in the league. Fourth, right? With 81 now?
Yeah. I mean, if I think back to the games this season that Augie has been the most impactful or had the most chances, it's always been when he has had additional players around him in attacking positions. And I think that the issue in this game, until, we brought on Boone, who was more of an attacking position, is that you always have Augie more advanced than somebody like a Robbie Mertz or a Charles All. So Charles All and Robbie Mertz are always running at the goal, but Augie is always kind of on an island in front of them, as opposed to kind of having, Steve, to your point, multiple guys who are pulling that defense apart, making more space for Augie. And that seems to have been the common theme all season, is just that we don't have that. And so Augie, more often than not, is, he's relied on to knock the ball down, maybe drop it back to one of the midfielders and then try to make a run. But by that point, he's got 2 guys all over him. It would just be good over this stretch to just see him get some more space. I feel like we have to do something. We're averaging less than a goal a game. You could say playoffs all you want until you're blue in the face, but you're averaging less than a goal a game. What's that going to get you? Yeah,
a lot of tired legs because we're going to go to extra time and then have to do a PK shootout if we do get to the playoffs because we're not scoring goals. You can't win a playoff game if you're not scoring a goal a game.
Agreed.
You're assuming other teams won't score.
Well, yes, I'm saying though, the option is excellent defense, and you grind out the game until the PKs. And but the thing is,
cup style play
with the whole idea that Augie, hey, we need more forward, we need to be more attacking minded. At the same time, though, we're not going to play teams like Birmingham all the time where we can afford to put on 3 forwards and not have to worry as much about defending because the fact that they're not that big of a threat in the attacking third. So there's definitely something to be said about, putting this together in a way that will help the people that we have and be the best that they can be and score these goals. But at the same time, it's you do have to weigh that with, we need to defend. We need to actually have that in mind as well. And we have to play to the strength of the rest of the team. So it's a tough place. I do think there could be something with the pieces we have that we're not doing. I do think the answer is already there. It's just putting the puzzle pieces together correctly.
I think what's so frustrating for me about it is we've seen Augie in that position so much this year where he is the lone attacker. And we've seen some great strikers come through Pittsburgh in the past 8 years. But they were never up there by themselves, right? Like Brett had Cheetah, Brett had Romeo Parks for a little bit, right? Dos Santos and Brett were there together for a little bit, weren't they? When by the time Dequa was starting, we had Russ Cicerone. And then we had Eddie Kizza with him, right? And last year we even had Eddie with a selection of other strikers that didn't pan out. But it was like there was always someone else to help pull that, right? And so Eddie Kizza was not the guy that was going to score a ton of goals, but I think he is instrumental in why Albert Dikla won the Golden Boot 2 seasons ago, because he created the space. Augie does not have anybody creating that space regularly. When he has this season, we've seen him have success.
Yeah. Your boy Russ got goal of the week this week, and our buddy Jamali Waite got save of the week. So there you go. Some former Hounds out doing good stuff still.
They always do.
They always do.
Dikwa says hi.
Sorry, he doesn't have Eddie Kizza next to him anymore.
Sorry, Chico. Guys, we mentioned Augie. Let's do our top 3 players for this one. I'm assuming he's going to be on the list. Josh,
the list?
I was going to say, give me another one, Josh.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you stole the easy one from me. Man, I mean, it can't be Boone. I know he got the assist, and he wasn't even on the field. He was only on the field for half the game. Can it be Boone? I mean, getting an assist your second game in with the Hounds, that's pretty darn good. Yes, Boone. That's easier.
Okay. I'm not opposed to it. Steve?
Danny Griffin. Okay. I think he was the only player that on the night for the entire time was doing everything that he needs to do in his position, and then some. Nothing flashy, but he was doing the hard work, chasing players down every time that Birmingham had the ball in his area. And so I'm glad that you didn't pick Danny, because I don't have another clue. So I'll take Boone as well.
I think Sample did pretty decent on the night as well.
He's fine.
I mean, nothing spectacular. I'm just trying to think back.
Yeah. Is our order Augie, Boone, Griffin for second, third, or do we have an argument for flipping Boone and Griffin?
That's would be my argument, because Boone only played for half the game.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so we'll go Augie, Griffin, Boone.
Yeah.
All right, so 3 points for Augie, 2 points for Danny, 1 point for Boone. Boone will get on the board.
Yep. You'll have to erase the little sketch that
my son did. Yeah. He'll be tied with Max Broughton for 1 point. So that's good. That is what we think. Let us know what you think in terms of who you thought our top 3 players are. As I mentioned, you can always find us on Blue Sky, or you can email us at mongols3@gmail.com. Guys, moving on from this one, let's quickly take a look at the standings, and then we'll talk a little bit about Tampa and everything else going on. So that draw keeps us in 5th spot. We are now tied with 28 points with Detroit, who are directly beneath us in 6th. Rhode Island is in 9th place with 21 points, so we still have a 7-point gap on sort of missing the playoffs. Loudon are in 4th place on 31 points, but they also have a game in hand on us. So that could be a 6-point gap between a home field playoff advantage and not, or a home field playoff game and not. But as we just said, if we're averaging less than a goal scored a game, regardless of whether or not we're letting in less than a goal a game, I mean, Louisville is also averaging close to less than a goal scored against per game, but they're at the top of the league in terms of goals scored. So, looking at this table, looking at kind of, what happened against a Birmingham team who were in 11th place and jumped up to 10th with that draw. Josh, are you at all concerned that we don't make the playoffs?
No, I'm still pretty confident we make the playoffs. I am very much not confident that we get a home playoff game at all. Good news is Loudon did play today. And they lost. So they didn't jump in points. So they're at 21 games played with us, and they are still
3 points. Yeah, 3 points ahead. Okay, good.
So that's nice to know. And I always forget the tiebreakers now. So yeah, the reason why Detroit is below us is because it is head to head. Whoever has the most points head to head that season. So we beat Detroit once and drew them. So we don't have to worry about them jumping us if they stay tied in points with us.
Yeah. Steve, do you agree with Josh in that case?
Yeah, I mean, I think we make the playoffs. I think that has more to do with there's a lot of work for the teams 8 and below to do, right? And I don't think they're going to do it. Do I think that both Indy and Rhode Island would jump Hartford, Detroit, and the Riverhounds, while Hartford and Detroit could pass the Riverhounds? I don't think so, right? So it's a probabilities to me that this is where I've learned from my good friend Justin that these are not must-win games.
Oh, here we go. That's fine.
If you have must-win games when the top 2/3 of the league gets into the playoffs, that's a problem.
Yeah, guys, again, we are live, and so we have been getting a number of comments and questions, and for whatever reason it hasn't popped up. I opened it up just now. Good question here from Kevin Baverso. The lack of creativity offensively for this team, is it more talent based or system based or both? Steve, what are your thoughts on this question? Thanks, Kevin, for that.
Completely system based.
Full stop. That's it.
I do think there is a little bit of an Ouroboros thing, like chicken or egg thing going on here, where it is system based, but I do think the system has caused the morale / just the confidence to go down. So now we're seeing talent be less talented than they would be because they are feeling not effective. And so like I do think even the skill level that we're seeing right now, because I've seen them be better than this. Dick is a good example. Like he made that mistake and it seemed to rattle him, but I've also seen him make mistakes before and him get back up and it not rattle him. So I do feel like maybe there's something else going on there. Like, why was he so shaken by this one mistake? He should have been able to shake that off right away and be like, yep, my bad, but now fully focused. And he still bobbled a couple of other balls that came at him. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's easy to say system only, but there's definitely some player fatigue or something going on here that is also an issue.
Sure. But I think like you said, though, I think it is because the system is causing that for them.
Fair.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that if it was a talent issue, I think it's more, we've talked about this before, Danny Griffin playing center back, Danny Griffin playing forward. Like, you have talented guys, but if you're not finding the right guys for the system that you want to play and it's not delivering, then it still all comes back to the same root problem. So, yeah.
Well, and I think that is part of it, right? Like, so we've just discussed that the system is a bit different than what we've seen in the past, but it's not built around the players that are starting every week, right? Some players are in positions that are really good for them, but some players are not. And you've got players playing deeper or playing more advanced in roles that are not their best. And so either you need to change the system to fit the players you have, or you need to change the players to fit the system that you want to play. You can't try to just force it to work by just saying, well, you're just going to play differently for me.
Yeah, agreed. Guys, up next, we head to Tampa. Tampa are last place in the East. They just lost 2-0 to Detroit on the road. I mean, again, Josh, do you still hold this is we won't use the phrase must win, but you're assuming 3 points in this one, right?
Yeah, this should be a win. Tampa has a bad run of play right now. I mean, the whole season they've had a bad run of play, but especially right now. And I don't see, like, this should not be a competitive game if we want to be a contender this season at all. It's getting shorter and shorter amount of time for us to, figure out the season. And I still don't feel like we're there. We had a little bit of luck not losing, but we couldn't really win that much. And so now we need to start winning instead of just drawing. And if not against the last place team in the East, then against who?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that. I feel like we won't use the phrase must win, but this, if you don't get 3 points here, you have to start questioning, because this is the worst place team in the East. The following week we go to Oakland. They're the second to last place team in the West. And then it doesn't get any easier. We still have to see Louisville again. We have to see teams like Indy that are trying to climb the table. Like, it's only going to get more difficult. So if you can't pick up 3 points in these games, you're shooting yourself in the foot down the stretch. And
I know there's something to say about home field advantage and that, it can play a part. But like this Birmingham game, there was like 20 people in the audience.
Yeah.
Like there was no crowd there to be had. I feel like their supporter section had less people than the pitch did at our watch party, which wasn't even an official watch party. Like it was sad. Yeah. I didn't even see her.
Yes.
To Liz's points.
Yes. Liz commented in the chat, I feel proud of the Steel Army for having more people at the pitch on Butler than Birmingham had in their stadium. So you did not see that, but yeah, you and your wife are clearly in sync, Josh.
And I'm very disappointed that the gag that they've been doing against Pittsburgh did not really shine this game. They've been wearing Halloween costumes every time we come into town because of the playoff game that was forfeited during COVID because our team got COVID for going to a Halloween party is the alleged thing. Yeah. And that was supposed to be their first home playoff game ever. And so they were super bummed that they didn't get to have that game. So they always wear Halloween costumes every time we come into town. I didn't see one Halloween costume. Gumby was nowhere to be found. Come on.
Get off my lawn.
Commit to the bit.
Yeah, that's right. Steve, any final thoughts on the Hounds before we get into our non-Hounds question of the week?
I mean, the Hounds need to win this game because of Tampa Bay, right? Not because they need 3 points. But in both these upcoming games, it's like, do I feel confident that the Hounds are going to go out and get 6 points? I don't, because the biggest difference, right? Like, you're talking about the Hounds to have 7 wins. Tampa Bay has 5 and Oakland has 6, right? So it's not like the Hounds are winning many more games. It's that those teams are dropping more points instead of getting the ties. And so we've seen that the Hounds are, if they give up a goal, sure, they might score one. They might get a 1-0 win, but I could see both of these games ending in 0-0 or 1-1 ties, and that wouldn't surprise me either. And so to me, that is kind of catastrophic in the sense that these are teams you need to be going out and beating, not because you need the points, but because these are the teams you have to beat to show that you can get the job done.
The question going through my mind as you were saying that was, can you draw your way into the playoffs? And for whatever reason, again, massive shout out to the Hounds marketing team. I immediately thought of Ammo sitting behind like an easel, like drawing something. It's like them pitching that later. It would never happen. But yes, this is the season of draws. And
I mean, you mean like the Hounds that drew 12 times out of last season, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what our record was last time?
12 wins, 10 losses, 12 draws.
Wow.
Yeah. And as Mondo just put in chat, the Hounds are 1-5-4 on the road this season. So we definitely draw and lose substantially more than we win. 10% of the time we win on the road. That's it. So we need to improve those stats.
They have a very lucky record right now, 7-7-7. Just saying.
Yeah.
Jackpot.
We're gonna win it all, baby. Gentlemen, let's get to our non-Hounds question of the week. Once again, this is just going to be the gag. I'm not ever going to create a like little video clip or anything. I'll just keep saying that I mean to, and then we don't do it. I will do it. I promise. So here's the we got some feedback from last week. We appreciate it. If you like this bit, if you see news or there's something you want us to discuss, please share it. Again, we're on Blue Sky. I think it's just Mongols at mongols3@gmail.com if you want to email it to us. I'm totally going to forget the guy's name, but he said when we talked about the moment of silence for the player who actually didn't die, he said he literally spit out his drink on his way to work. So appreciate that. This one isn't nearly as funny, guys. NBC News is reporting that Frank Illette, who is a Manchester United supporter, he has refused to cut his hair until his team wins 5 in a row. It has currently been 323 days since Manchester United have won 5 games in a row. So this guy is still waiting, and he still plans on waiting. Apparently, you can go find this guy on Instagram. He's become like a bit of a sensation. Josh is holding up a picture of the guy right now for those who are watching. He seems like quite the character. I think he made a comment about how his girlfriend thought it was funny at first, and now she does not. My question to you guys is, have you ever been in a situation where you would make a commitment like that? It doesn't have to be hair related. It could be beard. It could be fish. I know, like I don't think we've ever done Movember here. Like we could at some point, but is there a situation in which you would consider not shaving your beard or not trimming your beard or not growing or not cutting your hair for something related to your team?
Fun fact, I've actually been doing this challenge myself. I have not cut my hair until the Hounds win the championship. So, still going strong here.
You do realize that now if they ever do win a championship, we need to have like a thing with you on the field and like razors cutting nothing just to symbolize that like the time is now.
Lather it up.
Yep.
Get like one of those brushes.
I just had to do that joke before someone else did the joke because I thought Steve might steal it. So I was like, I gotta get on this.
I have just enough that, yeah.
Yes.
No, I would not do something like that. Like there's nothing about sports that would make me make a life like changing decision.
Let me ask you, would you
life changing is a little rough here? I mean, it just says here.
Okay, You've been doing it, Josh. Has your life changed? Mine would. It would look awful. Okay. I want to show you guys something, right? So I started buzzing my head and I told my dad this when the peninsula started to turn into an island.
Let me ask you this: would you, if the Hounds won a championship, would you get a tattoo?
I mean, yeah, I will.
You will?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Oh, I feel some good content. Well, assuming that ever happens. Steve, would you get it?
I have tattoos, so it's not a big deal.
I know. Steve, would you get a tattoo or something like that if a team of yours won a championship?
I mean, that I might bet, right? Like I would get a Hounds tattoo if somebody put that on the line in the appropriate context.
Me and Mondo getting tattoos if the Hounds ever win a championship.
But I would only do it for something like that, right? So a couple of years ago, my good buddy Jimmy, who I went down to see the Open Cup game in Cincy with, like he was going to get a Hounds tattoo if they won that game, because like his mom is from Cincy and it was like, let's go, right? So that's the worst outcome from that game is that Jimmy didn't get his Hounds tattoo.
Aw.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd get a Hounds tattoo.
I mean, that was the game Dequa got injured, but
did you ask if I have any?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have one and I'd probably want to get more, but you would never, I got it. Like, do you remember that movie, The Skulls, that was all about like the secret society? There was something about that where they branded them under their wrist where their watch goes. So that's where mine, you couldn't even tell what's there. But yes, I got something really small that one of my other brothers got, but the other one chose not to. So it was going to be like a family thing. And then
it was Kevin, right?
Kevin chickened out.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
I could tell right away. I'm like, that's a Kevin thing. Well, actually, I never said I was going to get the tattoo. I said it's a good idea.
Yeah. But I'm curious if anybody out there would, grow your hair out until, I don't know. Like the Hounds win 3 in a row. Is that the equivalent of Manchester United winning 5 in a row this season? Maybe. I don't know. Or would you get a tattoo if the Hounds win at all? Let us know. Anything else going on, guys?
Nope.
Yeah. It's been crazy. But as always, I look forward to chatting with you guys. It's a great way to kind of bookend the weekend before we start into the week. Best of luck to all the kids out there that are heading back to school this week, be it college or high school or middle school or elementary school or kindergarten. We did talk about our favorite characters on our backpack last week. That became a topic of conversation for me and my wife on our drive home from dropping Ollie off at school this week. So yeah, best of luck to everybody. Best of luck to the Hounds as they head down to Tampa. The guys, you guys all know that we're in your corner, regardless of everything that's going on. So I think that's all from us. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the conversation. We will be back with more Hounds content for you all very, very soon.
Later.
See ya.